Pokemon TCG, a vast landscape of strategic deck building, countless hours of meticulous card testing, and passion, consisting of players from the young novice to the older, seasoned Pokemon masters. The Pokemon TCG is a cornerstone to the health and longevity of the Pokemon hobby, where each and every card, even the energies, has their very own use case. Unlike collectors like myself, only hunting out the rare and exclusive artworks while throwing all the quote-unquote useless and worthless cards straight in my bulk section, or even worse, the trash. These TCG players truly aspire to be the very best they can be by learning and continuing to learn new strategies and playstyles to edge out against the competition. Collectors, players, and even Pokemon video game enthusiasts exist in this huge trichotomy, each a symbolic relationship feeding into one another, all under the monster IP, which is Pokemon. This trichotomy, being very different in their individual sections, all collide into one another once a year into the wonderful masterpieces such as the World's Trophy cards or Pika trophies that have lived in collectors' minds ever since their first release in 1997 at the first Pokemon tournament. It's a collector's dream of owning part of Pokemon's history, a card that holds cherished memories and historical events alike. Every year at Worlds, Pokemon showcases the newest artworks for their trophies given to the winners for that year, each showcasing a triumphant Pikachu against all odds, holding their respective trophies with a joyous demeanor. And all of this started way back in 1997 with the original Pika trophies. With how beautiful and rare those trophies are, we won't specifically be diving into those trophies in this video. Instead, today we will be diving into the history and the unique releases of the best fan club that's ever existed in Pokemon, the Daisuki, or with the Japanese pronunciation, Daisuke Club, the unique Action Point Awards System fan club. But before we get into it, let's change this up a little bit. Hold on. Alright, that's better. Alright, let's put on some music. Let's see what we got in the jazz section. Ah, here we go. Some Magico. Sweet. We'll dial this in. Alright, now that we have some nice music in the background and me dressed up for the occasion, we can get into the Daisuki Club, or Daisuke Club. The year is 2004, and the Pokemon Company just had an amazing idea. They thought of a fan club that you are enticed and encouraged to play and understand and learn the Pokemon TCG, one of the trichotomies of the Pokemon space. And later the next year, from July 1st to August 1st, 2005, they hosted their first ever event for this club. It was called the Pokemon Card Game First Classroom. In this specific time, Pokemon released 8 individual quizzes to be completed about deck building, about the basic rules of the TCG, and everything in between. Now, these quizzes were pretty easy to complete because you could take them over and over and over again until you completed all of them. And what was the prize? It was an entry into a lottery of winning 1 out of 10,000 of these specific promos, 096 PCG-P, illustrated by the legendary Ken Sugimori, featuring young Pokemon trainers discussing their favorite Pokemon. To no one's surprise, the first Classroom promotion was a wild success and would lead Pokemon into fully fleshing out their Daisuki fan club. And through fleshing it out, they implemented the Players Club EXP award system, EXP meaning experience points award system, where it would award players of the TCG and participants of these events experience points that they could eventually trade for exclusive promotional material or products, just like this Leafeon and Metagross EX deck, which actually has the earliest development software of the TCG Online CD. Now, for the people who wanted to join the Daisuki Club, from 2005 to 2008, all memberships were actually done through the snail mail. And then in 2008, they decided to transition to an online membership. Through all 2005, 2008, and beyond, everyone who signed up would receive a unique to them membership card. And past 2008, when you signed up, you received these 3 cards as a gift for joining. Fun fact, these 3 promos were actually from the canceled Spring Battle Roads 2007 event that featured the Mysterious Pearl. It was canceled, sadly, due to a person calling in a bomb threat. But they still gave out these 3 promos through the Daisuki Club. Now, 2008 was a big year for the Daisuki Club. Not only did they transfer to all online membership, but also they changed the reward system from the old Players Club EXP experience point system to the new action point system, where instead of you participating in TCG tournaments, participating in events, and earning experience points, and you redeeming these experience points for different items, the action point system worked more like a rank tier system. Now, in a lot of ways, this AP system was very, very different from the EXP system that they had prior. But in a lot of ways, it was kind of similar, where you would win AP action points by participating in quizzes, participating in TCG tournaments, or winning nationals or winning events. Little is actually known about how many action points you won at, regionals, at nationals, at certain in-game store events. Through these action points that you would acquire, you could unlock newer and higher ranks, where you would be given and rewarded these exclusive to the Daisuki Club cards that today are some of the most desirable and sought after cards in the hobby. Now, when action points were facilitated in 2008, Pokemon was about to transition from their DPT sets, which was our Platinum set, to the newest generation, Legends, which was our Heart Gold Soul Silver set. And this created a little bit of an issue. But before that, let's get into the ranks and what you unlocked in different ranks. Now, you've just joined the Daisuki Club. Everyone starts at 0 APs. Everyone starts at this level, and it is the normal rank. Once you go to enough tournaments, once you go to enough events, eventually you get over 200 APs. And this would mark you as the bronze rank. Past the bronze rank, if you get past 400 APs, you were silver rank. Now, during this time, once you get into the silver and once you were into the bronze, there weren't not any necessarily TCG prizes, as in cards, promotionals, or anything. Instead, you were given trainer items such as stickers, notepads, and other merchandise. It wasn't until you got past 1200 AP points and you were in the rank gold. At this point in time, you were given a Pikachu 016 DPT-P card. Now, I say that, and some people would try to correct me, because there's actually 2 Pikachu cards. Pokemon uniquely produced two different versions of the gold and the super rank cards, and they're two variations only on the set number. Pokemon had to make two different cards for the people who were awarded the gold rank before the transition and the gold rank after the transition. Before the transition, the set number was 016 DBT-P. After the transition, it was 019 L-P. Funny enough, this was the same situation with the super rank at 3,200 points. At this rank, you were awarded these two cards, the Cresselia and the Darkrai. If you were awarded it before the transition, it was 045 DPT-P and 046 DPT-P. After the transition, it was 020 L-P and 021 L-P. Both these cards were illustrated by Watakaru Kawahara. Uniquely, these three cards are very different than their other counterpart because they were produced two different times with two different set numbers. And these cards are some of the lowest populations in the Daisuki Club fan base. And this was mainly due to the fact that you had to get 3,200 action points within a certain amount of time. And back then, players, there were only certain events, there were so many events that people could go to get these action points. So only the people that went to every single event that was available for them, as well as completed every single thing and were the best of the best, were awarded these cards at 3,200 on the super rank. Now, once the transition happened to the L-P, there are actually no other cards that have two different set numbers, unlike the gold and the super rank. The next rank at 5,200 action points was the hyper rank. At the hyper rank, you were awarded the unique Raichu Prime card, illustrated by Takashi Yamaguchi. Now, this illustrator was only around a couple years, but they did illustrate the Typhlosion Gold Medal card, as well as a illustration coming up here in a bit. Now, the next rank is very special indeed. After acquiring 7,200 action points, you received the special rank. At this rank, you received two cards, the Espeon and the Umbreon card. 053 L-P and 054 L-P. Illustrated by Hideaki Hakozaki. Hideaki not only illustrated these two cards, but also illustrated the Pikachu metal cards as shown here, and multiple other cards in the TCG hobby. Now, after 7,200 action points, if you made it and surpassed 8,600 action points in this given time, you were given the rank of Master. And in the rank of Master, you were given the Holy Grail of Daisuki Club promos, the Master's Scroll, 055 L-P, illustrated by no other than Takashi Yamaguchi. Now, after 8,600 action points, there were no other ranks to get to. The Master rank was the highest rank you could obtain in the Daisuki Club action point system. Only a very few select, very skilled TCG players actually obtained the rank of Master. Reaching the Master rank was a triumph of its own. From little TCG experience I've had, I can't imagine the time, effort, passion that went into strategically putting together a deck that you yourself could acquire and win so many action points as reaching the rank of Master. 8,600 points was nothing to scoff at. Now, myself personally, I admire people who put in the time, dedication, everything into winning these events, into winning these cards, And I, myself, as a collector, can only appreciate and admire the amount of passion, effort people put in to try to even grasp these different ranks. Now, to everyone's surprise, in June of 2010, Pokemon sent out this letter, translated here. They announced the closure of the Action Point system at the end of August. Now, with how sad this news is, there was a silver lining. They announced that everyone at their current level, they would receive the next level's reward as a farewell gift. Meaning that if you earned at least 7,200 points, you would receive both the Espeon, Umbreon, as well as the Master Scroll. And at the end of August, the Daisuki Club's AP award system was no more. Little is known as to why they decided to close the program, but the Daisuki Club still lives on today, even though they don't release any exclusive promos specifically for the Daisuki Club. Now, with a lot of these cards, they're kind of on the farewell kind of ship, as in saying that they are getting up there in price and are just moving far away, that I can't obtain them anymore. Just a couple year within the year, the Espeon sold for $17,000 for PC-10, and the Umbreon just recently sold for $35,000. Now that is about a 6-month paycheck that goes straight into Pokemon. And sadly, I won't be able to, I don't have money growing on trees. A lot of these cards I won't be able to acquire. But I can thankfully say that I have acquired one of these cards. And it is the creme de la creme of my collection. It is the one and only Master's Scroll. There is a close following of people who sought after and admire these cards, that there's only so many to go around and so many collectors want them that they go for a large amount of money. I know a lot of people can never obtain a card like this. As a collector, I want to collect, cherish, and I want to share the memories of cards like this, where it's not just a card printed on cardboard that's shiny and encased in plastic. It's a story. It's about overcoming the odds, grinding out the amount of hours and time and effort into winning all those events, winning every single and acquiring as many action points as possible to obtain a card like this. It's all wrapped up in this, the Master Scroll. Now, some people, oh, there's no Pokemon on it, I don't like it, whatever. That's fine, that's fun. Some people say that if you look deep into the Master Scroll, you can see your very own reflection, which you are the Pokemon. Now, this card is a sight to behold. The beautiful double holofoil that's on the Shining Korokoro Mew, as well as a bunch of the other Japanese promos, is the most prevalent here. You not only have the holofoil on the scroll itself, but the surrounding border as well. It is an eye catcher for sure, and I am so thankful that I have had the ability to purchase one of these cards. Now, my rule of thumb has always been going after the most sought after and desired cards in a set, because those most likely will be the first ones to disappear. And sadly, the Cresselia and the Darkrai have already disappeared, in the sense of there's only 2 in existence, graded wise, and good old Scott, PFM, has both of them. So either he is the only one or there's another one floating around, but I would much rather have the Master Scroll for obvious reasons. You know, Cresselia and Darkrai is not my favorite Pokemon, but again, there's no Pokemon on here. So, you know, and like I said, my main goal as a collector is to cherish the memories, cherish the idea and the history behind these cards, and to teach people the importance of the history behind these cards. The Daisuki Club's EXP and AP reward systems has brought us some of the most beautiful and unique releases that otherwise wouldn't have been released, such as the Pikachu or the Master Scroll. And especially the Master Scroll, where they don't have any other language release, and was only given through the Daisuki Club's AP system in Japan. Now, there's still cards given out at events today that are unique to those events, such as the fanfare events, as well as the player ceremony events, as well as the cards that are given out at Worlds. But sadly, there are no unique cards that are given out due to fan clubs. Now, there are Korokoro magazine cards that do come out, but again, it's not of this. You had to win so many tournaments, you had to win so many things, you get these points, and then you submit them for unique cards. But to me, the Daisuki Club was so much more than just a club. It was passion, effort, and motivation to be the best you can be at your game so that you could reach these different ranks, to reach the top, be the best that you can be, and get these, and you are awarded these specific cards that are now one of the most cherished cards in the hobby. Hopefully you guys learned something today about the Daisuki Club. I love sharing history and the legacy of different events and exclusive promos that I wish America would just do better. I've described this many times before, that the Japanese, how they create Pokemon and how their communities around it, they are the cooks in the kitchen, where America just gets reheated meals, sadly. But I am glad I could share with you guys the legacy and history of the Daisuki Club, and share with you my recent acquisition of this card. I find myself sometimes bored. I just stare at this card and just the holofoil. I'll share videos and shown videos in this specific video of just the absolute shine on this card. It is unbelievable. But someday I wish I will obtain all the Daisuki Club promos and have them on display. But maybe if I win the lottery tomorrow and I get, $500,000, I will do that. But for now, I am good with just the top of the top card, the creme de la creme, the Master's Scroll. And thank you guys for tuning in to learn about the history and unique legacy of the Daisuki Club, Pokemon's Action Points System fan club. Thank you guys. See you guys in the next one.